It is January 25th, 2020. Welcome to the Electroneum Roundtable. We have special guests with us this wonderful day. We got Tyler Casilio from Cora Merch and Podcast Now and Cora Market. And
how's it going?
What's going on, Tyler?
What's up, Tyler?
And we want to welcome a very, very special guest today that we're very grateful is able to come out and join us today on the roundtable. Mr. Olivier Acuna. Am I pronouncing that right, Olivier?
Yeah, we can leave it at Ollie. Ollie's just
Ollie.
simpler for everybody, and that's how everybody calls me in the office as well. So Ollie's good.
Sweet. I love it. Well, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
No worries, no worries.
Oh,
sorry for the delay.
Dino?
There's Dino.
Dino, can you hear us? He's having trouble getting the audio. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
All right, Dino, if you could hear us, well, I guess you can't hear us. That's the problem. Darn it. All right, so Ali, you're the new PR manager at Electroneum, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
When did you start?
So I joined Electroneum on July 1st of last year. So I've been with them for just over 6 months now, close to 7.
Awesome. And how are you liking it?
I'm enjoying it. I think it's been one. I was recently at my 6-month evaluation, and they were asking me how the journey had been so far, and I told them it's been the best job I've had ever. And I'm 57 years old, so that's talking quite a few jobs behind me.
That's fantastic. How did you hear about Electroneum?
Well, I've been writing about Electroneum for over since May of 2018, so over a year and a half now. I came across Electroneum when they launched their M1 phone. That story did very well for us, was one of our most viewed stories. And from there I said, well, there must be something to Electroneum. I mean, because why, this has drawn so many page views, and so I just kept track of it. And one day I found they were hiring people, and so I threw my hat in the ring, and there I am.
That's fantastic. And had you was when you were getting into Electroneum and writing about these different projects, was this your introduction into blockchain and crypto at that time?
No, I had already been there. I mean, I'd already interviewed Scott Sternett. I'd interviewed Alex Mashinsky, Stevie Sue, he calls himself, a whole bunch of other people from the industry. I was getting my feet wet. I still am. I mean, I'm far from being an expert on crypto and blockchain. I know a little bit. I can defend myself with just very little.
Nice. Well, same here. So just one more quick question, then I want to pass it on to Tyler and see if he's got some things, and hopefully we'll get Dino in here. So this is not necessarily Electroneum related, but you were a journalist since 1984. Is that true?
That's true, yeah. And I began my career in 1984. I was studying, and I met this woman that was head of finances for a large newspaper chain in Mexico. And she asked me if I wanted a job there. I did, and I competed for a job. There was a job opening for a general news reporter, and I got the job, and I started working since then. Yeah, 1984. It's almost, I'm going on 36 years, 35, wow. Over 35 years as a journalist.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been a difficult one, too. It's been a bumpy ride.
I can only imagine.
Dino, can you hear us now?
We hear Dino.
We can hear him.
I know it. He better not do anything private.
Hey guys, sorry, I'm problem with my audio. So bear with me. I'll just keep everything going.
Okay, we can hear you. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. All right, Tyler, we'll pass it on to you, brother. What would you like to ask Ali?
Mr. Ali, how's it going? I know that you saw the last video, and I appreciate those comments on there too. So every Monday, even I'm just saying this for anybody watching, Ollie has, and I try to cover it anytime that he posts stuff. Ollie has these great write-ups. So you definitely need to check it out. I try to cover it. Oh yeah. And trust me, I'm not just saying that either. They're really, really good. So I know that, some people it's either they forget or they get busy or whatever, so they might not see it all. So I try to cover it too, so that people can see it in a different outlet. But if you're watching,
may I just interject really quickly?
Yeah.
I thank you for praising the work, the write-ups, but I have to say at this point, I have to give credit to all the team because we brainstormed the ideas. Sure enough, I put those ideas together into these articles, but again, they go through a couple of the team members and then to Richard for sign off, and they all have input, they all have say-sos, they all have observations, really good ones. We integrate it all, and then we have a final product that's a result of teamwork.
Oh, okay. That's really cool. See, that's stuff that we didn't really know that. So that I really like to know those kind of things like that. What I wanted to ask you is, which one, even if it's just in the last week or two, but what one or what kind of information have you, even from in the office and hearing or, doing research or anything like that? What's really stood out to you the most that makes you really excited for the Electroneum project?
Okay, well, so there's many things I can't say, unfortunately, right? And another thing that I want to be really, really clear about, because there have been some people out there saying that I've been trying to hype things up just to move the price. I can't say anything about the price. I'm not interested in the price, to be honest. I have no ETN myself. My job is not to do that. It's to create greater visibility and credibility for Electroneum. It's not about the rest of it. It's about the value. And I think within the office are the major concern, and that's why I love the job so much, is about the end result. And what is our objective with the end result? Everybody, yours as well, is to be able to help people in developing countries that don't have access to bank accounts, that have difficulties working because they live in faraway areas, or just because they don't have money for the bus to go out and try to get a job. I mean, there's so many difficulties out there to make ends meet in all these developing countries, and we're trying to find ways for these people to live better. We're not going to change their lives around because that would be impossible, right? But we certainly can make a difference in their lives. And there's many people out there who I've spoken to already that say their lives have been positively impacted by Electroneum already. And AnyTask is not out there yet. Task School is not out there yet. It's on the verge. ETN Everywhere is a huge campaign we're working on. It's in the planning stages, but that is huge as well, because it's about expanding our brand to all these different regions around the world, starting with Brazil and then expanding out. So there's just so many things going on, and they're focusing on the right things, because I think right now we're at the point where, okay, we're creating all these ways for people to just begin earning ETN. We're finalizing the way ETN can be sent around the world. But how about if and this is just as an example, because we've seen that there's a huge market for this and a huge need for it as well, remittances, right? So what if I'm an immigrant in the U.S. and I want to send money to my very poor family in Mexico, and I have to pay all these big fees at Western Union to send this money? But if I could do it through ETN, which costs nothing really, keep extra money. But then what does that person do with the ETN? And that's the problem right now. So we have to find ways for these people to use ETN in a more wider within a more wider ecosystem. So the mobile top-ups is good, yes, definitely, but we need to find more ways for them to use that money that, for these global remittances and the money they're going to begin earning with any task.
Yeah.
Well, I think you made a good point, Ali, is that there's so many cryptos out there that, tout different use cases, but we're seeing, Electroneum creating value just alone by the top ups in the beginning, right? As you stated, it's like you said, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but it's real world value.
It is,
right?
yeah.
That's the main thing is people could. It's not just a hypothetical. People have said about the U.S. dollar. The only reason the U.S. dollar has value is because we have a belief system that the next man down the road will accept that U.S. dollar. So I'll accept the U.S. dollar from you. I'll give you my goods. And the only reason I'll accept it is because I believe that the next guy will accept it. But that doesn't give it intrinsic value in and of itself. Even though in America, around the world, we know that the U.S. dollar could purchase things just because of this belief system and the history, the momentum of history. But Electroneum, as a crypto, which is such a new thing to the world, it actually has a value that we could assign to it. It might be 10 minutes of airtime. It might be however much airtime, but we know that it's not just a magical belief system anymore. It's a reality that these people in these various countries that we're launching in can actually use. And then they can start trading these ETN back and forth or these minutes back and forth. And then, as you said, given that value, that they can start opening up, as we're seeing in Uganda and these different places where they're accepting it at their local mart for goods at the Uganda ETN mart, right? At this little.
Exactly, yeah. And in Argentina, there's so many shops throughout Bariloche, especially or particularly, that are accepting ETN. I mean, I don't know if you saw this tweet from this dentist in Thailand, proudly saying, I've been accepting ETN as payment and it's doing well for me the last 6 months, I think, something like that. And I have stories like that from around the world. I mean, if you put them all together, maybe it's hundreds, close to thousands, but it's not that significant yet. But I think it is a proof of concept, right? And a proof of that it is working. It actually works. People like using it. It has positively impacted the lives of many. And we just have to continue on that, building on that.
I agree. What is there any in working with these countries that have been launched with Electroneum? Has there been any particular experience or particular person or shop or something that stuck out to you? I know you just mentioned the dentist, which is awesome. Is there any that emotionally or something that stuck out and you're like, oh man, we really did make an impact there?
Well, there's Idris Kasibwe, or Kasibwe Idris in Uganda market that we've been talking about previously. I think this guy, to me, is I admire the guy because he's excited about ETN, and he's gone out there and brought in, I think, 80 merchants into the ETN community.
Yep.
Right? And he goes out there. He's not scared. He doesn't hesitate, and he's trying to bring in as many people into the community as possible. And he talks about how it's impacted his life. So that's a pretty nice story. I just heard of a singer-songwriter out of Uganda as well, who says his life has been positively impacted by ETN. I just reached out to him, I think the day before yesterday, and told him I want to interview him and have a further chat with him. But just from the couple of words I heard, he was like very, very excited about how ETN had changed his life around. I talked to Juan Pablo Canapa in Bariloche, and he goes out with this Bitmobile per se. It's a VW van, and from the hippie era.
Uh-huh.
And they go out and give Bitcoin lessons throughout Argentina, and I think they're already going all the way up to Chile, and they're just spreading the word of Bitcoin throughout the whole region. But he also takes the opportunity to talk about Electroneum because, in his words, and he's a very knowledgeable guy. I've spoken with him 3 or 4 times for almost an hour because he's very interesting. He knows a lot about cryptocurrency and blockchain. And this is what he said. He said, Bitcoin, and a lot of people have said this, it's more a store of value, but it really has no world utility. And Electroneum does, he says. And this is why I'm pushing Electroneum. This is why I'm trying to create a big community here in Bariloche, Argentina first, and then expand it throughout the rest of Argentina. And people, I mean, there's so many shops in Bariloche already accepting ETN, artists, intellectuals, writers, translators. I mean, it's amazing. It's really amazing how when you get a community that understands the benefits of it and how it begins to grow, you see, wow, this is real. This is actually real.
Yep.
These are not like the other cryptocurrencies that who knows who's using them, right? I mean, I know Dash is really widely used in Venezuela. And I know I interviewed a couple people when I was working for Blocks Live TV that were living off of Dash, and they were in the United States. So I know that Dash, I've heard of actually Dash having real use cases. But I think that's, to me, in my case, right? I'm not saying that's what it is, but I haven't heard of many other cryptocurrencies that have those use cases.
No, you're right. I mean, and the difficulty to obtain it, first of all, right? You might be right. I mean, and the difficulty to obtain it, first of all. Right?
Yes. I just wanted to give you let me stop this. I'm listening on a 30-second delay because I have to listen to the show through the broadcast. So I won't be able to interact because I won't be able to hear your question for 30 seconds. But I just wanted to thank everybody, especially Greg and Oliver and Tyler. And sorry about my issue. My system just will not work with Skype. It only works with Zoom. I just wanted to throw out a couple questions, and then I'll let you, Oliver, and the rest of the team answer them. These are the guys that are on my channel. They had a couple of questions. Let's see. Are you guys not hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Are you not able to hear me?
We're turning this thing around to Zoom. I mean, do you want to?
1, 2. Give me a nod. Yeah. Okay. Good. So a couple of the questions that I don't know if you heard what I was saying. I'm on a 30-minute delay. Okay. Good.
30 minutes.
So 30-second delay. So a couple of the things that the guys are asking, and then I'll stand back because I got a 30-second delay. Let's see here. They want to know if we're still looking for the AnyTask launch in Q1. Can we ask about any utility companies, if there's any progress in that sector from minting coins? And let's see what else here we got. The 20 countries, are we still on track for that? And of course, everybody was curious what the plans are for this year. I'll shut up and I'll let you guys continue on. But if Oliver can answer any of those, that would be awesome. I'm going to mute my microphone now so I can listen to the show.
Okay, let's see. Let's talk about AnyTask because that's what's on everybody's mind right now. I know we're launching to the wider public next week. Exactly when, we don't want to start giving exact dates because people get really disappointed when we don't meet the date. And I can tell you, it was the weirdest things happen when you least want them to, right? And this is the story of ETN rewards. And we had this ready since last year. We were just ready to push the button. And so we delivered the apps to the appropriate stores for the updates to be uploaded make them available to the public. And we went and we still haven't gotten response from Google. Usually Google uploads it within hours. And Apple is the one that the Apple Store usually takes days, sometimes up to a week to upload the app. On this occasion, Apple did it immediately, and Google hasn't done it yet. And so on Friday, we decided, well, we can't get a response from Google because they don't have like a phone number you can call and say, hey, why is my app not being, my app update being uploaded to the store? There's no way of an actual person answering the phone and complaining to. So, and somehow it got leaked, and we just decided, let's just announce it. I think right now the Google app, the Android version of the ETN rewards is still not on Google Store. So it's the nature of the things, right? We get delayed by certain things that are way out of our control, that are not like they usually are. I mean, you measure things based on past performance. You know that Google doesn't take but days, hours to upload an app, and now it's taken over weeks. And it's how do you measure that? It's just out of your control. Same thing with any test. We're ready to go. It has a few bugs. It always will be, as there are with when you play GTA, right? You get bugs and patches 3 years later down the line that fixes errors and bugs from the beginning, right? So there'll always be that. But yeah, we are launching to the wider public. It will be available to all sellers completely as of next week. And the full launch after that depends on how the next phase goes. But it's all looking really, really good. And I think people will be really, really pleased to see how nicely it's coming out. When we got this visit from Mon Gavin, he saw the demos. He was really, really impressed. He says he's been at other projects and doesn't see half of the developments that we have in as much time as we are. So he was really impressed in how far advanced we are with the different products and projects that we're developing. So I think we're in a good place. I mean, if people look at CryptoTask, for example, and I don't know if you've heard of CryptoTask, but this another website, freelance website that it's going to be like Fiverr. It's going to be like any task, but they've been in the works since 2017, and they haven't launched a single product. They haven't even launched their beta testing yet. And we've been around since 2017 and launched a whole series of things, a moderated blockchain, proof of responsibility. We've hooked up with the mobile networks, the third-party providers, so on and so forth. So I think we're doing really well, and sometimes the community fails to see that. And I do understand the frustration sometimes, and I think it's right now it's the perfect moment to talk about a little bit about the mistakes that we made in overpromising and being overly excited about things and seeing what's there. I mean, I'll go on Monday and sit in the office and say, I got all the press releases ready to click send on them. And which one do I click send? I'm like, I want to click send on something right now, just because I know people are waiting for information, right?
Yeah.
But if I say this completely publicly, then everybody's going to say, well, see, he's just overpromising again and trying to get people to buy, which is, it's not the case at all.
Yeah.
And the other questions, I don't know. I really didn't understand about the minting. If somebody could clear that one out for me, maybe.
I'll find it for you.
Was that the only one?
It says ask about utility companies and if there's any progress on deals in that sector. I don't really know what that means.
There was let's say minting coins. I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Great. Minting coin. Well, people wanted to know if we're about Coinbase, if we're going to be on there. If Oliver thinks we're going to be a top 10 coin. Minting Coins is used to do a channel, and he had a question on there, and I think that one was let's see. Can we ask about utility companies and if there's any progress on deals in that sector? And I will mute my channel again.
Okay. let's go with Coinbase. Crypto exchanges. That's a Richard and the team. They're really concerned and really focused. It's a high priority to expand the ETN listing to crypto exchanges that are available to U.S. people in the U.S. So that's why the word Coinbase, Binance, so on and so forth. The issue is not getting on them. It's not getting hit down by the SEC. And I'm sure you guys read the news. You've heard these people getting slammed for ICOs that were considered illegal. Do we want that to happen to ETN? Do we want us to be shut down because we're trying to get listed on a U.S. exchange, and then for some reason or another, the SEC says, "Oh, wait a minute, you guys are in here now." That's a Richard and the team. They're really because he's on delay. We're hearing everything. Focused. Can you tell him to expand the volume? If he could lower the volume on his end. To crypto exchanges that are available to U.S. people in the U.S. So that's why people
mute yourself.
Coinbase, Binance, so on and so forth. The issue is not getting on them. But anyway, so not getting. To answer that question, yes, there is a priority to get listed on crypto exchanges that are in the U.S. and in other major markets. Do we want that to happen to ETN? But that needs to be done solidly, following local regulations, ensuring that there's no way that we can face any legal issues. And I think that's something that should be a concern of everybody. The whole ETN community. Okay, that's regarding the cryptocurrencies. Top 10. I mean, top 10. I think we're already top 5. Whether we're going to be a top 10 in regards to market volume and all that, I'm not a trader. I'm not an economist. I don't know anything about finances. If I were to say anything like that, I can't to begin with. Legally, not supposed to. And secondly, I'm not an expert. I'm technically I couldn't give any financial advice. I wouldn't. I'm not prepared to do so. I don't understand the market. I look at it every day. I do follow it. I open CoinMarketCap and see where we are and where Bitcoin is and where all these other coins are. And I read about the tendencies and everything. But I'm really not a person to ask about what's going to happen in regards to a coin and where it's going to go, where the price is going to be. I don't know. As a project, though, as I see it as a top 1 already, as a top 10, even at least a top 10, just because of the things we're doing, right? We're educating people through ETN rewards on cryptocurrency. We're helping them. Who else is giving crypto away so that people begin to use crypto and understand what it is? This is a way to spur mass adoption. Who else is really concerned over that? Everybody's concerned over making the big bucks and making sure their price is up. We're concerned over it having real use, being able to make a difference in the world by helping the people in developing countries with access to the global digital economy. That's more of our concern. And I think if we focus on that the rest should fall in place by itself. I'll use an example of what my father used to tell me. Don't worry about money. Money's inanimated. Worry about yourself. Do what you love. And if you do what you love, for sure, life will reward you as you deserve, right? So that's the way I look at it. So yes, I think we're already top 5, at least the top 5, top 10 cryptocurrency in terms of what we're doing. We're actually developing products that are valuable to the end users in many places. And we're working with NGOs, helping people that break the cycle of poverty. I mean, we're already doing things that how many other cryptos are doing out there? I really don't see them. I don't see 5. I don't think you can name 5 right now that are doing the same amount of things, the same, making a difference in the world like we are right now.
Yep. Nope. I agree.
Exactly right, brother. You got a question there, Tyler?
I'm actually going through Dino's chat just to give them a little interaction.
Oh, nice.
Oh, actually, this is one I was going to ask myself about. So the question is, oh, so I don't know what that just was. I missed that. The
Yeah,
question, well, did you see it?
Yeah.
yeah,
Dino
something
Dino
about the
just sent in the question.
utilities again, right?
That was about, yeah, that was that minting coin question. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all these things will fall in place. I think right now the really top concern right now is that off ramp. We get that out because that needs to be coupled with with any task. Nobody's going to go, or very few people are going to go on any task and start earning money or earning tokens if they can't.
If they can't do
That's
anything with it.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's obvious. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that one out. So
Yeah.
obviously, off ramp is the next step, and we're progressing on that as well. And we're just going to see some major things falling in place in that regard. So I think that we've been working really well. I mean, I think it's out there for everybody to see. We're all really anxious to see these actual launches, but we're having this visit. Dino's going to be here on Friday. He'll be able to tell you more when he sees things firsthand. I'm sure many things he won't be able to say because of NDAs, but he will at least be able to convey the excitement and the and what he sees, right? That we all see, the people that are in the office, what we actually see.
Fantastic.
So,
We got another question from a user there, Ali. We have from Dino over there. Do we have any direct partnerships lined up with MVOs in the future?
So MNOs. MVNOs, so we all make that mistake. I just learned this because from working with Electroneum. MVNOs are the indirect ones. They're the virtual network operators, so they're the indirect. I think people are more would like direct partnerships with the MNOs, the actual direct mobile network operators, such as here in EE or AT&T or whatever big names you've heard of.
True.
There is one. We'll hear of that one very, very soon.
Nice.
That's all I can say at this point.
Nice.
Very exciting, though. Very exciting one because it will take to other things as well. It will lead to other things.
Ali, do you want to speak on the introduction of NGO involvement and the new mining protocol, proof of responsibility, the earth-friendly green crypto? Do you want to speak to that as far as what you like about it, what you love about it? I think that's obvious. We all love to see a green earth and an earth-friendly crypto. But is there anything that you want to speak on that topic?
Well, I mean, I think we've talked a lot about that because I think we're all pretty proud about having our own moderated blockchain and our own proof of responsibility protocol, which nobody else works with. I think Libra mentions it in their white paper, but they're far from actually doing anything in real terms. We've already done it. I think it's, to me, I mean, the little I know about blockchain and the way networks work and how security actually, how you can actually guarantee security from that end, and from sitting down with our head of blockchain, Chris Harrison, and some of the other engineers, I see that we do have one of the most secure and definitely the greenest crypto out there. And they explain it, with apples and pears in a very simple way where I can understand how impossible it is for us to be 51% attacked. But there's definitely always a risk of a security breach. Yeah. That's always a risk. Nobody's completely safe from that. Not even the Pentagon, sure. Not even the Department of Defense in the U.S. Nobody's completely free from that. But there's definitely locks in place that guarantee that a double spend or a 51% attack can never take place. And that just opens up everything in regards to how crypto exchanges see us, how financial institutions see us, how major corporations see us. And that's why these things are beginning to fall in place, that can unfortunately not talk about. But when Dino comes to the office and he sees the C-level people that are working, because I mean, if you go to our website and see the About team, those are actual people that are in the office working day in and day out on partnerships, on corporate deals. So when people ask me, are there any corporate, any major deals in place? Well, look at our About team and look at where these people come from. Do you think they're sitting around doing nothing? You think they're just, we have nothing about to roll out, nothing's happening? Is that what you really believe? And that's one of the reasons why I kind of, I'm very happy to see Dino coming to the office and a few more of the people that are visiting next week, because they'll actually see, okay, this is real. There's people actually sitting in the office. There's 50, 60 people sitting in the office doing something, for God's sake, right? Not just clicking extend on our mobile app to see if we get some more ETN.
Well, and we've had so many incredible accomplishments already. So I'm just excited to see what new things are coming in 2020. As you said, if you got these dedicated, passionate people in the office, I'm just so excited. We have a couple more questions right here from Dino's end. Any feedback from Coin Intelligence recent visit to HQ? And also, what about the instant payment and the patent process? Any updates?
Okay, let's start with the patent process. That is in the works. Obviously, that's the wording. I think there was an issue with the wording. That's going to be, but these are. It's bureaucracy again. It takes a long time. It's with the lawyers. It's bouncing back and forth. Richard jokes a lot about that. The lawyers are always in the middle trying to milk the cow one way or the other. And sometimes it's true, though. I mean, it sounds hilarious or even sad that we would be stifled by a couple lawyers that find wording that may get us in trouble, right? But that is... Richard just doesn't want to put any of the hard work that's been done so far at risk. So he is being very, very careful, him and all the people they're talking with, the corporations, the partnerships, making sure the wording is in the right place where we're not going to get stricken down by nobody. There's not going to be no way any financial authority anywhere in the world can tell us, well, this is wrong. You guys are wrong. You guys are going to be sued. You guys, this is going to happen. You're going to be shut down. That's not going to happen because we just don't take the next step until that's completely taken care of. And people need to understand that. So that's the thing about the patent. It's going well though. And the other question was. Boy, did I just forget it? It was a good one, too.
It was any feedback from Coin Intelligence?
Oh, yeah, of course, on Gavin. Yeah, okay, well, yeah, he was very excited. I think he was hugely excited. He said, I'm so impressed. You guys are incredible. You guys are a handful are amongst the handful of cryptocurrencies that are actually doing anything. And I'm just glad that I came here and did the audit. The full report should be out within the next 2-3 weeks, so we'll be waiting on that. It's a 10-page report. It will be published on Coin Intelligence, and we'll be put it out there for everybody to see as well. But his initial words were those. He says, "I'm really, really impressed with what you guys are doing, and you're definitely amongst the 5 cryptos that are actually doing anything." So, and he's already looking for offers for Richard to go speak at international events. That's how impressed he's left our offices. So now he truly believes in the project. He obviously spoke with the C-levels. He had a long chat with Richard. He sat down with him for like 2 hours or 3 hours, spoke with the head of blockchain, with Chris Norris, Nigel Pulley, the business development and partnership team. And he says, you guys are actually doing things. It's amazing. And he saw Richard's other businesses that have been around for over 20 years. So it's like he took a whole different impression of what and who we are. And I think we will see a really, really great report in a couple of weeks that will actually help increase our credibility, because I think our credibility is in a good point right now. Obviously, the report by Coin Intelligence will help because there's still trolls out there. There's still a few others out there, and they need to see this report to be silenced so that they see the facts from a real auditing firm what Electroneum is all about.
Yeah.
Tyler, what you got?
Well, some people are saying, when is the new roadmap coming out? I believe, Ali, you've said it's because of different languages or something along those lines.
Yes, the roadmap is already updated, and so we've added all the things that we've done in 2019, and then really to the a lot of people may be disappointed to actually see the update, because I know why people are really anxious to see it is because they want to see what's coming up in the future.
2020. Yeah.
Right. But because of all the lashback that we've gotten for not coming through, we're not actually promising anything in the next few quarters. I mean, if you go to the roadmap now and see the coming soon part of it, that's basically what it's going to say. It's not going to say much more than that. It's not going to be much more than any task school, ETN everywhere. The Ledger Nano sometime towards the end of the year, where we don't want to overpromise. We don't want to put ourselves deadlines. What we want to do from now on is surprise people, because I just, to me, it's kind of hurtful to go on to Twitter and see these people, propaganda gang, you're full of shit. And, to me, if they knew who I was to begin with, they know I wouldn't be here for dishing BS out. I don't do that. I've been offered a lot of money to manipulate information and to dish out BS. I didn't do it. In fact, for not doing it, I got kidnapped and tortured in Mexico and thrown in jail for 3 years for being an honest journalist. So I don't think I went through hell. I was tortured 16 hours, thrown in the worst jail you can imagine for 3 years for doing my job as a journalist. You think I'm going to come to Electroneum to start dishing BS out after all I've gone through? Believe me, it's the least thing I want to do.
I hope everybody in YouTube land and on the internet could look in Ali's face and see this man's. I mean, I could see, just looking at this man's face, a great character. So
he's a great guy.
Yeah, man. What a pleasure, brother. And I want to mention, Ali. Well, two things. One, if you guys out there in the internet land haven't checked out Ali on Twitter, definitely go check him out, connect him with him, follow him. As well as Digitspin, Dino, and Tyler. Go check out their YouTubes and their Twitter. Always want to big up all the guys, big up the team at Electroneum. I don't want to forget that before the show is over. What great work you guys have been doing. You just mentioned a little bit ago that you don't want to promise too much, and that's all I could think about when you said, coming soon, any tasks and task school. And we know it's coming. It's not like you said about some other promises from other cryptos where they say something and then 2 years later, you don't even see the beginning of a project. We've seen works that have been done, and it's just so exciting to me to know that any test and task school is enormous. It is so enormous in the world as a whole, in crypto as a whole. It might not be the decentralized thing that everybody wants in these different ways. They could take that and get that out of Bitcoin or Monero or whatever they want. But as far as actually making a difference in the world today and making building blocks that are starting to snowball, it just blows my mind at the things that Electroneum has done, and really proud of you guys and thankful to be a part of the community.
Well, I think the community itself and obviously the ICO participants, all these people deserve a lot of credit as well, because they've been hugely supportive. It's incredible to go out and sometimes post something, say, go out and vote. I mean, the response that we got from the community for the Binance vote was so huge. Binance accused us of faking all the votes. That's how huge the response was. They said there's no way real people would have gone out and voted so massively in your favor for listing, and they just shot us down, saying we had fraudulently rigged the voting, which John Gavin's going to talk to them about and tell them, well, you guys are so wrong. You guys were so wrong calling them fraudulent, especially because you guys have a few. Yeah, actually, you guys, Binance has a few things they should be. They shouldn't be too proud about. But yeah. So again, I think Electroneum is doing really, really well thanks to the large community that is very, very hugely supportive. There's a few spots, bits and pieces here and there, but I think that's all part of balance as well. I mean, because if it was all fine, nice, and dandy, then I would be thinking something's wrong there.
Yeah.
Everybody's too nice.
Yeah.
So if everybody's
Very
too
true.
nice, I would think it's all bots, definitely. But if you look at our Twitter, you see a lot of people dumping on us, criticizing us negatively. We don't block them. We allow them to say whatever they want. And that's what makes a real true community, right? That we listen to everybody.
Yeah. As
So
long as
thanks
the
to the
facts,
community as well.
as long as the facts are there, and because I saw one the other day, might have been even yesterday, talking about how like the mining, the mining it's simulated, it's not even real. So I was about to, and I totally forgot. After this, I'm going to take a screenshot of the app, and it's like ETN received, ETN reward, and it's like it doesn't really matter if it's simulated, fake, what. You're still getting it.
You're still getting that. Exactly.
You're still getting the reward. It doesn't matter if it's not real mining. It doesn't. You're still getting the product. So don't say it's a scam when you're actually receiving it. It's people they're just very interesting how they look at half or whatever they look at. I don't even know what they look at half the time. But it's as long as we can, which is why I love having you. I really do. Because I mean, you're putting numbers out there. You're talking about different countries. It's just that's the kind of stuff that we need. Because really, what even myself, I should be doing it more. Again, it's not even fighting it with facts. It's really helping to educate not so much the person putting out that negativity, but the people who are reading it. Because then you can say, okay, well, I see what you're saying, except here's the thing. Mobile money is a huge thing worldwide. I believe there's like 860 something million mobile money users worldwide. That's as of 2018. They're spending, I think it's around $1.3 billion a day. I think I'm confused. Not confused. I just don't remember if it was billion or trillion. I think it's $1.3 billion a day. Like there's all these things about mobile money and how ETN can sort of, it technically is like a mobile money because it never touched a bank account. Yep. And how do we know that? Because of the ETN rewards.
Exactly.
Just how you can connect it, just like any tasks. When any task, when it was originally Gig Guru and then it was Gig Fair and then any task, one of the things that I was thinking, I'm like, well, what about people who don't have the digital skills? And then all of a sudden Taskle came about. I'm like, man, they think of all the connections. It's unbelievable. So it's, I mean, the project's, I don't know. I feel like it's bulletproof. It's just so good how they take a concept, and I'm sure you've seen this being in the office. They take a concept, they expand it, they expand it, they expand it. Sometimes, like you're saying, sometimes you kind of need that criticism because you might not have thought of something before, and you say, oh, well, that's, they're not quite accurate on that, but it is a good point. They bring up something that I didn't think of, and then expand it. And once you keep doing that and you grow the ecosystem like ETN has been, you're going to get those results where you have somebody come to the office and say, this is amazing. Like you actually have stuff, you actually have products, you actually are doing something. And when I go elsewhere, I don't see anything. Yep. So that's a very good thing for anybody listening who's like on the edge. When you have that kind of those kind of statements like Ali is saying here, and even Ali himself saying like what a great project it is and how he feels it's the best job he's ever had. That's the kind of stuff that you want to hear. Don't even think about investment, just being part of and supporting
Exactly.
a
Exactly.
project. That's exactly what you want to hear. So anybody who was, like maybe they're like, oh, well, I haven't really heard any updates. Oh, we don't have a monster deal yet. Oh, we don't have that. Like, again, make sure that you understand there's so much positivity happening and there is work being done. That's not like when Richard Ells or when you see pictures of The Office, those aren't just dummies like that they have on a computer or robots. That's not CG. Those are actual people that are coming to work and they're putting in the time and the effort. So it's, you have to remember that the work is being done, even though, we don't have a live camera to see. There will be the monster deals. There's never, in my opinion, Richard Ells, the team, has never said something that hasn't happened. I don't think that's ever happened. They always deliver. Maybe it's not, maybe they, yes, they sometimes were saying the dates and then they miss them. And did that cause problems? A little bit, yeah. But it always happens. It's not like any task is not going to come out. So I just want to say that because, I'm seeing that people, they're starting to I feel like the heads are starting to go down. Like they're starting to get a little depressed. And it's like, you don't need to, because don't forget what was accomplished and where we are right now. And we know they have a track record that they are successful. They've put out exactly what they said they're going to put out. The future is no different.
Yep.
And the ICO funds are essentially being administered in the best way possible. I mean, I think last time I heard Richard say how much was there. I think it was 35 million in ETC and BTC, and I think 3 million more in euros. And if you remember, the ICO was 41, 42. Exactly. So
yeah,
essentially,
it's all
still there, and it's just waiting for things to fall in place to do the massive marketing everybody expects us to do. But there's still nothing to market. We need to get to the point, where we have proof of points, proof of concept, where things are actually working. And that's going to happen soon. And once that happens, it's just like there's no imagining where the future of Electroneum is headed.
Well, and don't forget, it took us 2011 until now to get Bitcoin to where it's at with just people in their own lives starting to, become aware of it, starting to work with it, with no company out there, working passionately every day to do these things to make it better. Yes, you have people who are contributing to the code and whatnot, but it took a long time. And then you have a look at the next 10 years, people say, oh, well, I'm going to hold my Bitcoin for another 5 or 10 years because it's going to reach $10 million. So they're willing to be patient with the technology of Bitcoin grabbing the world, by the horns, and they're willing to wait that long for this Bitcoin to reach those levels. Electroneum is so new, right? And they've done so much since the inception that I hope that people are able to have the same type of patience with Electroneum, knowing the technology that's in place and knowing that it's not just a blockchain, it's not just a crypto. It's when people are investing in Amazon and Apple, they don't care if it's crypto or blockchain based. They're investing in a good concept, a good project, and something that's going to make them feel good about their investment. And so, as you stated before, Ali, there's so many factors involved that it's the technology as well as doing good in the world. Those two things together is just enormous, in my opinion, for the success of a future project.
Well said. Yes, absolutely. Dino, any words from you, Dino? We can hear you perfectly.
Well, he's got a few different questions up here.
Okay.
So he says, what are we doing about USA exchanges? Do we have plans to hook up USA? That's the first question.
Okay. Well, again, I've already spoken about that. It's obviously a priority to expand the access, the listings of ETN to as many regions and countries as possible. Obviously, what a cryptocurrency and that's why Chris Norris is there. Let's talk a little bit about Chris Norris. He comes from an equity background. He's all about markets. He follows the trends. He understands what needs to be done in that area. So he's all about these things, partnerships with and deals with crypto exchanges. Obviously working again hand in hand with Richard, who's always about the legal aspect of it, the complying with the local financial authorities. I mean, there's been conversations with the Japan Financial Authority and authorities elsewhere. So obviously that is a priority, and everybody should rest assured that that is the case. When? Well, that's really difficult to say at this point because we were this close to list on Binance. First, they removed us because they said our vote was fraudulent. Then they said, well, we can do it the other way, which is through payment. Payment was exaggerated. Plus, they wanted us to migrate into their blockchain, which we weren't prepared to do. We have our blockchain, our proof of responsibility. We weren't going to migrate to theirs. So that's why that didn't happen in the end. So these are things that are out of our control, but again, they are being worked on.
Very good. All right, next question. Does Electroneum see any user increase in India? What's the vision for India?
Well, funny you say that because I think we all, everybody here and a lot of people out there know that India has now found that removed the ban on crypto and are now exploring their own central bank issued crypto. So I think that's going to be definitely a huge market. I think these were, I posted the story as soon as I saw it on Crypto Panic. I posted it on to a group that we have within the office, and Richard's first words answering to that post were, "Oh, I think God heard my prayers." Obviously, because the market in India is huge and for any task. Sure. It's just a huge freelancer market. Yeah. So a good riddance to us for that, right? Good news.
Awesome. Yeah. Next question. Does ETN have any plans to add smart contracts?
Because it's not part of our blockchain, I don't think I haven't heard that topic at all. Not even close to that. Sure. I don't think so. No, I would say not at this point. No, I've never heard that being mentioned at all. Okay.
And last question up here right now is, how is the Ledger integration going?
That's going well. Richard said at the end of last year said that it should be done no later than this year. Again, he's being really conservative. He doesn't want to overpromise. I'm sure there's going to be a surprise in that area as well. And I know there's a blockchain update coming up soon. I can't say exactly when. And that's got to do a little bit with the integration of the Ledger, the next step to the integration of the Ledger Nano. But that's coming up soon as well.
Fantastic.
Do you when I interviewed Richard in March, he said, because I asked,
soon doesn't mean tomorrow or next week, okay?
Right.
And sorry, I didn't mean to. Yeah, go on.
Right, it's true. I'm glad you said that. I asked him about the Mobile World Congress. He said that they're most likely going to go. Can you say if they are going, or because that's in a couple of weeks, isn't it?
Right. No, Barcelona. No. Okay. So the way we decided about events, and this was decided late last year. What events are we going to go to? We're going to choose 4 that cover the whole region. So the different regions. I mean, so Latin America, Africa, Asia, and Europe, right? So Barcelona was too soon. We didn't want to go to another event to talk about we're about to launch, what's about to happen, right? It was just, we're tired of that. So what we want to wait till at least March, April to start going to events, and going to events with the launches already under our belt and potentially very, very good results. saying
Right.
this is what we have. This, I think that because of all the people that are at these events, you know, we've already been to all these events and we have talked to a lot of people, tons of people about what we're doing and what we're about to launch. Now we want to go and say, hey, remember us? Yeah, we talked about launching this. Well, we've done it. We've done it, and these are the results. And what can we make happen going forward on this? Yes, he is. Chris Gorman is still on the board of the GSMA. Having said that, we're not going to the Barcelona one. We are going, I'm pretty 90% sure we're going to the MWC in Shanghai.
Nice.
So it's
But
just
do you
as
know
big,
when's
it's just
that?
as important. It's not Barcelona. It's the same event, only it's in Shanghai, so it covers the Asian market. I think more interesting for us at this point as well,
Do you
because of
know
India, China, and all that.
do you know what month that is?
That's in, let's see, off the top of my head, because I've been doing the research on the events, and I have like 40 events I've been researching. Shanghai, if I'm not mistaken, is in June, between June and October, no later.
I think that's right.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
we'll
just
definitely.
checking.
Yeah, that would be a definite 90% sure we're going to be on that one.
It's
We're going to be there.
It's just so everybody watching knows too. So that is between June 30th and it ends. So it starts June 30th, ends July 2nd. So
There
that's
you
something
go.
for people
That's
to look
it.
forward
That's the
to.
one.
Nice. Thank you,
Yeah,
Tyler.
That's a-
and it's
that's
just
pretty
like the
good.
one in Barcelona. It's just
Yeah.
as big. It's the same people go to it. This one just focuses a little bit more on the Asian region, which,
Right.
given
That's-
the events, current events in both China, which lifted the ban on crypto and is now working with blockchain, and India is actually thinking about their own central bank cryptocurrency. I mean, I think these are the places we need to be, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Sounds really good.
Yeah, huge
I
markets
have
for freelancers as well. Yes,
I
Tyler.
have a question that just popped in my head. I was going to ask you at another time, but I feel like asking it now. For task school, and you don't need to say time frame. I'm with you on that. Surprises are better. But for task school, are is let's say if I want to, I mean, obviously I do digital stuff. If I wanted to be able to like teach a class or whatever on how to make a logo or whatever, would we be able to do those type of things, or is it already going to be like a pre-done? I don't know how to ask that question, but I
Actually,
think you know what
great
I'm saying.
question, and glad you're offering to do that because we actually do want to populate the platform with different tutorials from people like you that can teach people how they can do simple tasks with a smartphone or an iPad or a laptop, and get these tutorials on Task School so people can start learning how to create things and start earning money. Yeah, definitely. I mean, sorry, not money. I should be shot
Oh.
for saying money, but start earning ETN.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a great question, Tyler.
So they will be able to do that. Maybe not in the beginning, but
Yes.
that's the plan.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that is the plan. That is the
Very
plan
cool.
to allow people to upload tutorials to help people learn how to create things and start earning tokens, ETN tokens on any task.
Would
Yeah,
I
that's the
guess
whole
now
purpose of Task School.
part two of that question, I guess, is if or when people do that and are able to like create like a class. That's just all I'm calling it, is create a class. Do they get rewarded in any way, like
There
ETN
is
or
going to be a reward system in place.
there?
Yes. I think one of the ways that was going to work was going to be through any task. So the people
Okay.
that are already selling tasks were going to be asked to film when they're creating that task and uploading that video, and that helps us for two reasons, because people may be able to learn from that video how to create a task, but will also give us real cases for people to see these are real human
People.
faces,
Yep.
humans actually doing things with Electroneum on any task.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
like
got the
that.
two purposes, and yes, there's going to be a reward system in place for that.
That's
Fantastic.
very good. That's really good. Yeah.
Very, very good.
Especially because people learn differently. Like someone, like let's say it was the three of us, someone's going to learn something different from Greg, from you, from me. So it's really good to have different perspectives on. Oh well, they're making it very similar. It's a similar logo, but I understand their way a little bit better. So that's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, and we've also we have Ellen McPherson. She's our data analysis. She's been analyzing the internet, or actually to detect all the mobile apps and online websites that are out there that teach how to do simple tasks for free. So free mobile apps that teach how to with which you can do logos or edit videos, and then other websites that teach you how to do these things for free. All these bits and pieces are going to be added to Task School. So I think it's very important, like the mobile apps that you can download to your smartphone and start creating things with these, like editing videos or creating logos and so on and so forth.
Yep.
Are you able to? This is my last question, gentlemen.
Yeah, no, as many as you want.
And you might not even be able to say this. Totally fine if you can't. But is AnyTask and Task School, will they be mobile apps at the start, or will they only be like desktop sites in the beginning and then become apps?
Okay, so AnyTask, they're online to begin with. I think you'll be able to access AnyTask through the app just for the messaging purposes and stuff. But to upload and all that, you actually need to do it on the website. But obviously the app will be integrated, because that's what Electroneum is about, right? It's a mobile app. So we definitely have to do the AnyTask app, and hopefully down the line, the Task mobile app as well. But
Gotcha.
Yes, initially they will be online platforms, websites.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Great questions, Tyler.
Yeah, he's killing it.
I know, I'm saying.
I have others. Well, so here's the thing.
Oh,
I used to do Fiverr, and I used to do these other different sites and do this type of stuff. Actually, this will be my last one. And
Dino's laughing. He doesn't believe you.
If it's in it, I know I'm reading. If it's in AnyTasks, for those watching, if this is in AnyTask from the start, then you guys are amazing. Will there be a almost it would be called like an escrow type system in AnyTask? The only reason I'm asking this is, and it's happened with me not doing the work but trying to have somebody do the work, where if let's say you have a Westerner, I'm talking AnyTask now. If you have a Westerner that wants a logo from somebody, or a gig from somebody on AnyTasks, and the person who takes the job says, yeah, I could do that. And they're doing it, and they're like, you know what, I actually can't do it. Then what? Like that's where the escrow would come in. But I'm curious if AnyTask has anything.
See, at that point, you have the money, right? You go to the pub, you drink a beer, and you say, well, screw that guy. No, there's a system in place so that so that if the task is not completed for some reason or another, the money is refunded to the buyer.
Either that, or they send Ali on a plane to come get you.
Well, that's good. See, I'm glad, again, for those watching.
Yeah, it's huge.
You guys are awesome, because that's a very big thing that could happen. And I know once AnyTask is going to come out, that we were already going to see people on Twitter and on wherever saying, oh, well, you could just go on there, say you're going to take a job, get free money, and then not do the job.
No,
that's not what's going to happen.
That can't happen. No, there's no way.
There you go. That already.
I don't know. Technically, I don't know exactly how it works, but I know the money is not released until both sides approve.
Good. Yep, that's how it should be. That's essentially escrow system. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, but essentially an escrow system, but technically within the app or within the system, I don't know how it works, but yeah, nobody gets the seller of task doesn't get the money until the buyer says, I'm fully satisfied with the work. Boom. Presses the button, the money's released.
You guys are amazing. Seriously, that's perfect that's there. I'm really happy about that.
And we're going to have 24/7 support desk. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, around the clock. So I see it's asking, where the coins are coming from, the pay. I didn't see the tail end of that, but
To pay for the work, to pay for the gig on any tasks.
okay. So and I think this was explained in the initial white paper, but
Yeah.
there's obviously in all projects pre-mined coins for rewards, right? So the ETN being used for ETN rewards comes from that pre-mined pool of tokens that were set aside for the ETN rewards and for all these other rewards that are going to be happening, because there is going to be a small shift in rewards down the line, but way down the line. I mean, there's already a zonification of the rewards, right? Because before I think it was done indiscriminately, and now it's being the ETN rewards are going to places where they actually need it, so developing countries. So you'll start probably hearing a lot of people saying, well, I'm not getting any ETN rewards. Well, it just may be you're in the UK or in the US or in an area that is known to be wealthy. You're not going to get the ETN rewards that you're going to get if you're in a favela in Brazil, for example. So I think they've implemented some way, an algorithm to detect exactly which are the most vulnerable regions, and those are the regions where most of the ETN rewards are dished out to. Right now, I think one thing that's worth clarifying as well is that we do have 3.5 million registered users, but I think at if you look at the mobile app, you actually see there's 250,000 active users. So there's a lot of the registered accounts are not taking advantage of the ETN rewards, maybe because they're in the developing countries and they know they're not going to get the rewards that they expected. They're not in it for 3 cents a month, right? So that's why you get the low number. So, but there are sufficient ETN was pre-mined to continue the ETN reward system for quite some time.
Nice. Hey, Ali, I think what Dino was asking though was not about the reward system as much as, so I go on any task and I hire Tyler to do a gig for me. I pay with my credit card, and that credit card translates into ETN. Where is that ETN coming into the picture to pay Tyler?
Got it. Sorry, completely went off a whole different direction. Yes. Okay, that's really simple. That's through an OTC desk. So what happens is the person buys with the credit debit card and buys from the OTC desk. The OTC desk then takes the money and throws the ETN in to the account as soon as the it's all approved. So once that button's hit
with the NGOs.
Excuse me. That's how the NGOs off ramp as well. Yes.
Okay.
Is that the question?
No, I was asking you. You're saying it's OTC and it has nothing to do with the NGOs. The NGOs aren't doing the processing from coins that they mined or anything like that.
Well, no, the NGOs use the same, basically the same system, right? The OTC does. So they mine, and once they need to off ramp to buy whatever local goods or whatever, they go through the OTC desk, which is the same way the buying and the selling on any task is gonna happen. Same mechanism. So in real terms, the buyer's never gonna really buy ETN, right? They're not gonna purchase ETN. In their mind, they're just paying in fiat currency. So if they're in the U.S., they're paying in dollars.
Yep.
And then once the task is approved, the seller receives that amount in ETN.
Fantastic. All right, so you guys, just to keep a rein on the time frame, it's been an hour and a half. I don't want to make the video too long for the viewers out there. I want them to be able to enjoy this in a, not too long of a video. We do have 72 live viewers, as what Dino said, so that's awesome.
78. No, 78.
Oh, nice.
Great. Hello, everybody. Great. Thank you for coming.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Ali. I just wanted to see, we have one more question from Dino, and then I'll let everybody go around one more time, and if they want to express themselves, ask a question, we'll go ahead. So last question that we got here. In terms of regulation, are the governments receptive to what ETN is voluntarily doing in terms of same thing again. So are the governments being receptive to ETN in their voluntary KYC AML compliance?
Well, we're definitely on the FCA's radar. They know very well about us. I think they even mention us in some of their reports and studies on cryptocurrency. They talk about the biggest ICO in history of a cryptocurrency based in the UK. It's obviously us, and they talk about how it's proving to have real world cases. So that's why they're looking further into cryptocurrency. So I think the fact that we have gone down that path of being regulatory compliant has opened up a lot of doors. Definitely, it's been a very, very wise move by Richard, no doubt.
Agreed. Thank you. Tyler, you have anything last that you want to bring up, express, ask a question, anybody?
Well, there was one. I kind of answered it because I feel like I know the answer, but I want to ask you, Ali, anyway, just in case, because I might be wrong, or it's probably better that it comes from you. But it was asked because they're talking about in the chat a little bit about the ETN rewards, or around $3 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, oh, there it is. When will Western countries be able to make $3 a month in mobile rewards or ETN rewards?
In what countries? In developed countries?
Basically like the U.S. Let's just say
well,
the
never.
U.S. Right,
Never,
that's what I
because
said.
the mission, our mission is to help
unbanked
people living in poverty.
Right.
People, well, $3 to me, for example, wouldn't make a difference at all. Why would I want those $3? If those $3 in ETN can be given to people in a country where that amount of ETN can pay for their monthly airtime and data, well, please, by all means. I mean, look at Venezuela. Minimum wage is $8 a month. So there, the ETN rewards makes a huge difference, right? But in the U.S., why would we wouldn't make an impact there? And I think our main focus is exactly that, making a difference in developing countries and making the lives of poor people better.
Right.
I love it. I love it.
Actually,
and we don't lose sight of the fact that we're a business, though. Don't anybody out there get confused either with what I'm saying, because then I hear these words or I read these words on Twitter. Oh, you're a charity. No, we're not. We are a business. We are in the business of being a business. So, in the end, it's a business that has very noble objectives, but it is a business.
Right.
It's Tyler. Yeah, you were going to say, sorry.
No, that's actually what I was going to say. That doesn't mean that it's a charity point.
Exactly.
That's what I was going to say.
I want to paraphrase a quote from Napoleon Hill, who wrote the famous book Think and Grow Rich. And you get this book and you think, oh, I'm going to learn the secrets of getting rich. And when you get deep into the book, he tells you, find a way to serve the people in a way that they need most. And then you'll find your calling, and then you'll be able to make all the money that you ever want to make. And I feel like Electroneum is really balancing those two sides very beautifully. And so
I do too. I really do.
Dino, last words, sir. I know he was saying he was going to turn his mic on. We'll give him 30 seconds to receive the info.
We have to wait 30 minutes, I think.
Oh,
you got it.
I was waiting for you to point at me and go, hey, you. I'm really sorry about this. I had no idea that my system would not work with Skype.
Don't worry.
And there's just nothing I could do about it. And I can't tell you how I wanted to talk.
You saw it on your face.
And I couldn't. But the fact of the matter is, I appreciate everything. Appreciate you guys fielding my questions. It was just better that I didn't have echoes and all that other stuff and just type in everything. Oliver, I just want to tell you that you've personally turned me around on Electroneum, because I was not as excited as I was originally. And when you had reached out and interacted with me and I got a chance to talk with you, you made my eyes tear up and you got me really excited. I want to thank you personally. You know, the fact that you're interacting, you may not have all the answers, you give the best that you can or that and some you can't tell us, But the fact of the matter is, you've made a big difference in my heart about Electroneum. And you've made me redouble my efforts, so much so that I'm going to fly to London to meet you in a couple of days. So
Nice.
I'm pretty excited about that. And
I am too. I am too. Everybody in the office
have a lot more that I want to do with Electroneum. We're doing the giveaway and all that other good stuff, trying to raise some excitement. So I wanted to tell you from my heart, hey, you're hitting out of the park. I appreciate you a whole lot.
Well, thanks to all
Tyler
of
and
you.
Craig, you guys are awesome. Yeah, you know that already.
Yeah,
We love you, Dino.
And I appreciate that. And I tried to get to most of the questions for everybody on the chat. I hope I got everybody that had an important question. And I want to thank you, all of you guys, for
the
including
little
me.
music, huh? Yeah,
Sorry.
your time's over.
All right, I'll turn off my mic.
Hey, Dino.
Thank you so much, Dino. And once again, for everybody, who hasn't checked out Digispin Dino's channel, please go ahead and go right over there, subscribe, and enjoy his content. Tyler as well has podcasts now. Tyler's got Cora Merch and Cora Market. Tyler, give the exact website domain so people know.
So CoraMerch.com, so QUORRA merch.com, and then Cora Market, and I just want to say real quick, I know all about delays because Cora Market was supposed to come out in like April, and here we are, and it's maybe it was April, just 2020, not 2019. But so I know all about delays, so I feel you guys on those. But the reveal page is there. So again, QUORRA market.com. Very similar to AnyTasks. I just see AnyTasks as the digital version of my site. I'm the physical goods, they're the digital goods. Obviously, Greg has his site, awesome site. But yeah, coramarket.com. Check that out. We're doing, so just so you know, Ali, so 20% of every sale. So we have a 3% sale fee from all the transactions. 20% of that, so every sale, 20% goes to Hope for Hearts that's based in Uganda. We met with the Hope for Hearts president. So yeah, so every single sale will contribute to these orphans. And actually, he knew all about the unbanked when I was meeting with him. He was really excited about Electroneum. He signed up right then and there.
Wow.
So, and actually, what they want to do, I have to meet with them soon. Yeah. So what I want to do is teach. Maybe I'll make like a little video or something because he goes back to Uganda every year.
Okay.
And he's gonna show them the teachers for the seniors, because there's babies all the way up to like 21-year-olds, and they go to school, they get a house, they get meals, but when they graduate, they now have the skills to get these jobs, and usually they'll get them a little something. Those who will be able to get a phone, or that have a phone, or maybe they share a phone, they'll be able to get ETN right on their phone, I should say. So they want to teach them how to sign up and how to do it all and all of those things. So we're gonna be meeting with him over the next couple of months, and I'll probably craft a little video to show them how. But people really all over the world are into ETN. They love ETN because of what it can do. And I felt like giving back myself, just because it is something that they can use, obviously. It's not a huge organization. I mean, it is. They have hundreds of kids. But it's not something that's like they got like hundreds of thousands of kids and all that. So it's it's a little bit smaller. So I really wanted to give back to them, and they're right in that unbanked region there, so they know how it is. I mean, they were orphans on the street, so they really know how it is. They are the unbanked, so I really wanted to do something for them, and it makes me feel really good. And I'm sure anybody who's like buying something on there will feel like they're actually contributing. Also, not only are they helping an unbanked person, maybe they bought a purse, but they're also helping an orphan get, they're getting meals, they're getting an education. So it's kind of like a win-win all the way around.
Well, that's a great story. We need to get that one published.
Yeah.
Keep me in the loop.
I will. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll text you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I want to big up Idris over in Uganda, who runs Uganda Mart on Twitter and literally physically is on the ground, boots on the ground, spreading the word about Electroneum. As Ali, you pointed out earlier, he's connected myself with the etnmarketplace.org. He's connected several Ugandan musical artists, Young Dog, DOWG, and Lucky Star. So so those, everybody out there, if you haven't heard of Young Dog or Lucky Star, please go out there and check them out. Really incredible music and just unbelievable music. So big up to Idris. Just very exciting about the future. Thank you, Ali, for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for inviting me. It's been fun. The only thing I regret is not hearing more about more from Dino.
I know.
Yeah, but we
Next
get
you'll see him in a few days live in person.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Have a beautiful day, and we'll do this again soon, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Whenever you guys say.
Fantastic.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers, you guys. One love.
See ya.
Peace, everybody.
Bye.